All right, we're back. Cameron's back. We're doing another
Ooh.
horror movie themed episode. You want to tell them what we're doing, or you want me to? What do you want to do?
Yeah, you know what? I can tell them. We're doing our own personal top 10 horror movie lists.
All right, go ahead and hit us with your number 10, boy.
Okay, my number 10. This is one of the surprising ones because it's a movie that you have not seen yet. And it is a very recent movie. Actually, if I take a look at my list, it's the most modern of the horror movies. There's one other that's in the 2000s-ish, but this is the most modern of the movies on my list, and that's Hereditary.
Ah, I'm gonna die right now.
Yeah. It's fitting.
I'm kidding, I lived. Okay. So Hereditary, huh? That's
Hereditary, yeah.
That's
Interesting
definitely
one,
very
huh?
new.
Yeah. Extremely new. Only a couple years old.
Yeah, I totally missed out on that one when it came out.
Yeah.
So.
I did too. I didn't actually end up getting to see it in the theaters, but honestly, that's one of those kind of movies where the theater experience would have definitely enhanced it, but you didn't need it because this fucking movie's crazy enough that it's fucking insane. So, without spoilers, obviously, because I cannot talk about it because you haven't seen it. And I've been trying to get this motherfucker to watch it.
Well, I'm gonna try to keep
I'm
all
gonna
of
die.
these.
I died.
Okay.
Shit.
Okay, we're back. Cameron died. All right, so we're gonna keep all of these spoiler free, just in case anybody who watches this hasn't seen the movies,
True.
because I don't want to ruin any movies for anyone. So,
That's true. That's fair enough.
all right, my number 10 is It Chapter 1, the new one.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
And it is actually the only movie on my list that I like the newer version more.
Ooh. Fair enough.
But that one took me by surprise. Everything about that movie, like, blew me away. The kids' acting was amazing, all of them. And
Yeah.
the, obviously Pennywise was great.
Yeah.
And
Of course.
what really, I think, won me over with the new version of it was the emotional scenes.
Mm-hmm.
It just, everything about it felt so much more human than the TV version.
Yeah, that was my one of my only complaints with the TV version. I love Tim Curry as Pennywise, but I don't know, the new movie just seemed to really capture that spirit more than the TV series.
Yeah, and the score, dude, whew.
Oh, the score is fucking incredible.
Alright, give us your number 9.
My number 9. This is one of the ones that might throw you off. This is the oldest one on my list. Which I feel is not on many people's top 10 horror movies list, but I don't know. So my number 9 is Nosferatu, the original 1922 silent film. The thing is that in middle school, I was at the library one day, looking around to see what I could get, and I found the DVD for that. And I always wanted to watch it. So I decided to pick it up and take it home. And I really loved that movie. It's a silent film, so obviously it takes a little bit of getting used to, because I'm not used to silent films.
Well, yeah.
But for me, it was just, I don't know, something about the way Max Schreck plays the character, the Dracula type of character. He's not actually Dracula, but, you know. He's just so creepy.
It's just one of those ones that sticks with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get that.
Of course, it has a lot of iconic scenes. And my first introduction, funnily enough, for most people our age was SpongeBob.
SpongeBob, yes.
Nosferatu. Yeah.
When he's playing
That
with the
fucking
light switch.
episode. Yeah. And then, and so I always thought of it as a funny thing, but actually watching the movie made me really respect the original a lot. And I really like the remake too. The remake is really good. I think it was in like 1979, and it's a colored film. And they did a really good job with that, but I've always loved the original way more.
Yeah.
So, what's your number 9?
My number 9 is the original Child's Play.
Ah, nice. Nice.
I saw that for the first time when I was like 6 years old, maybe.
Yeah.
And I just have always loved it. But I don't. It's so weird because it's not scary to me. It wasn't even when I was a kid. I just thought it was super cool. But I know obviously it's a horror movie. I just have fucked up brain. So watching that as a 6-year-old, I was like, this is dope.
See, the original Child's Play I fucking love. And I didn't see it when I was a kid. I ended up seeing it teens. I think I was in my teens when I first watched it. Anyways,
let's
what
go
is it?
with your number 8 now.
This is a movie that I'm 99.99999% positive is going to be on your list, but I'm not sure where. So, my number 8 is Saw, the original Saw.
Wow.
Yeah. I know it seems low, but you'll just have to see.
I mean, there's a lot of good
movies.
fucking horror movies, so...
Oh, yeah.
You know, as long as it made it in your top 10, I'm happy.
Yeah, you're happy.
Because I love Saw. That is on my list, but I won't tell you where.
I saw the original Saw. Funny. I watched it at home. Most of these I've seen at home. Unfortunately, I never got to see them in the theaters, which I hope changes because I love these movies. But one of them I did get to see in the theaters. At least one of them. Yeah, the original Saw. I fucking love it. The Billy doll is super creepy and iconic. Obviously, Tobin Bell is another one of those actors that it's hard to imagine someone else playing the character. It really is. It's because of his iconic Jigsaw voice.
Yeah. Honestly, John is one of the most normal and calculated serial killers in horror movie history. It's kind of like you put like him and Hannibal Lecter really are like the only two I think that are that high up. They're that calculated. Everything is part of their plan.
They're actually complete geniuses, which is really cool to see in a horror character.
Yeah. He's actually definitely in my top 5 horror movie villains of all time.
Oh, yeah. I would have to think about it, but I would assume I think he's probably mine too.
Alright, so my number 8, which is surprisingly high on this list for me, but it was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original.
Ooh, okay. Nice.
I saw this movie for the first time when I was probably around the same age that I saw Child's Play. Did not understand or pay attention to like any of it. So I had to rewatch it when I was like 12. I don't know. I like the movie. I love the movie. But it's not. Yeah. To me, it wasn't as scary as some of these other ones that are on my list. But Leatherface is one of those characters that's always stuck with me. He's, my main killer on Dead by Daylight. I love the masks, the looks, the dance he does with the chainsaw at the end, and all that stuff. It's just so, iconic.
I will say, in the first iteration of my list, Texas Chainsaw was on it, I eventually took it off because
Wow, it's not in your list
yeah,
at all?
it's not in my list. It would probably be number 11 if I'm gonna be honest. It's just there. I thought of a couple other movies that I absolutely love way more. It's like I just rewatched Halloween 2 as well because I got the Blu-ray for that. And honestly, I would rather rewatch Halloween 2 immediately than rewatching Texas Chainsaw. It's not that I don't like it. It's just that it takes a while to get going, and there's obviously iconic scenes like the hitchhiker scene, which I
Yeah.
love. And
Which, by the way, mentioned to Halloween 2. Shout out to Sean, because that's his favorite horror movie.
that's true. That is true. 7 is one that you've already mentioned. It Chapter 1. A little higher on my list than yours, but I fucking loved that movie. I'm glad that that's one of the ones I got to see in theaters, man. I was so hyped for that movie, and I was so into all the behind-the-scenes details that I could get. And I remember seeing the reveal for Pennywise, Bill Skarsgård is Pennywise. I still remember that picture that they officially released, and I loved it. Some people, actually a lot of people on the internet were not happy with it, which I personally didn't understand, but I fucking loved the costume, and I loved the way they designed the character from day one. And,
Yeah, once I saw it in motion, I was really like, holy fuck, like,
yeah,
this is good.
that's definitely one of the highlights is seeing it in motion and make it look better than just a still photo. They got kid talent is hard to find, and they got some great kids to play those characters.
Yeah, I just, honestly, those kids were so damn convincing for the entire movie. There wasn't a single moment where I
Yeah.
was like, oh, that was kind of campy, But all
No,
of it was perfect.
it's completely genuine, and I believed everything. I really did, and can't talk about it without talking about Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise. I mean,
Yeah,
a
absolutely.
casting decision that no one was expecting and no one thought would be any sorts of great, especially not better than Tim Curry, but in my opinion, much better than Tim Curry. I thought he was a way
Yeah,
better Pennywise.
I think as far as just base, shock value and horror, I think way better.
Yeah, obviously Tim Curry's incredibly entertaining, but I never find his Pennywise that scary. I just want to watch more of him in a he's funny and enjoyable type of way, not Bill Skarsgård. I obviously want more of as Pennywise, but in a I want to see this guy because he's fucking creepy and he's just perfect for the type of role that it was, and all the things he added to it, like the lazy eye and all of that, it was incredible.
Yeah. Alright, so my number 7, again, surprisingly high on my list for how big the movie is, but Psycho.
Psycho.
The original black and white Anthony Perkins Psycho.
Right.
This is another one that I saw when I was really young, and it stuck with me forever.
Yeah.
To this day, I have this weird obsession with checking behind the shower curtain before I do anything in the bathroom. I do not know why, to be honest. It just is. It just stuck with me as a permanent, like, it's like a reflex now. While I walk in the bathroom,
to get Janet Leigh.
yeah, as I walk in the bathroom, is there a serial killer? No. Okay. Now I can pee.
No.
That's basically. It's just permanently embedded in my brain.
Yeah.
Psycho is one of those movies that's just, it's so fucking good. It's anybody who hasn't seen it, fucking stop watching this video and go watch Psycho. Like, what are you
Oh
doing?
yeah,
Because
absolutely.
it is just so goddamn good. And don't watch the remake.
No desire to, because
That's just all I can say.
sounds pointless.
Don't watch the remake. Other than that, you know, watch Psycho, but don't watch the remake.
That's fair advice.
All right, hit us with your number 6.
My number 6?
Yep.
Okay, so my number 6 is Psycho. Yep. My number 6 is Psycho.
That probably doesn't need a lot of explaining then after that.
No, not really, but I mean, I still want to talk about it a little bit. That's a movie that I never even saw until I was much, much older. Actually, over at your house. We're all just home alone, trying to find something to watch, and your mom put on Psycho, and I had never seen it. I knew everything about it, basically. I knew well, I'm not going to spoil it, but I knew everything about it.
Yeah, and you know, it's one of those movies, even if you know the entirety of the plot, it's still good.
It's incredible. I could not stop watching this movie. And it was completely past my time. I knew everything about the movie, and I still could not stop watching the movie. It's iconic for a reason. And yeah, so Psycho is my number 6.
Alright, so my number 6 is going to blow your mind. Like, you are going to lose your fucking shit when I tell you this.
Yeah.
My number 6 is Jeepers Creepers.
Okay.
I just rewatched this week. It's on HBO Max, and I was like, I need to watch this again, because I hadn't seen it in years. I always liked it as a kid, and everyone I knew always told me the movie sucked, but I liked it anyways. And rewatching it now just like solidified my love for it. It's so fucking good. Like, yeah, it's really low budget.
Yeah.
But
a lot of these movies were low budget.
Like, honestly, if you haven't seen Jeepers Creepers, watch it. Anybody who sees this, if you have not seen Jeepers Creepers, go watch it. It's on HBO Max as of the time that this video is being made. It's just so fucking good, dude. Like, everything about it, there's like creepy, disgusting horror scenes like Texas Chainsaw. There's like the more suspenseful, quieter scenes like Halloween. You get the, you know, car chase intense scenes like Joyride, and which almost made my list, not gonna lie.
That was one that I was thinking you might put on there, but after considering it, I was like, not as high as some of the others.
Yeah, I just couldn't justify putting it in my top 10 as much as I like that movie. It's really fun to watch, but it's not it's not as scary as these other ones to me. But Jeepers Creepers is, you know, another one I saw when I was young, and it stuck with me. And I just continued to watch it every chance I got, and now I'm probably going to watch it again and again and again while it's on HBO Max, you know. But, like, holy fuck, dude, I could not believe, like, how good it was rewatching it as an adult.
Yeah.
I was like,
real.
Damn, dude, like, for such a underground horror movie, you know, that's one that kind of has a cult following. Despite having sequels, it never really was like, you know, like Saw or Halloween or anything like that, where it's like permanently stuck with everyone.
It's not one of the huge horror movies, but it's decently popular.
But honestly, if I had my pick, the next Dead by Daylight killer would be the Creeper. Like,
oh fuck yeah, that'd be amazing.
You could use the church as the map, the crows, and everything makes sense there because the crows follow the Creeper. Right. And it just would be so fucking cool.
That would be actually a pretty damn good killer. Yeah, so Jeepers Creepers ain't on my list. Not gonna lie. I fucking love Jeepers Creepers.
It's very...
I watched Jeepers Creepers when I was actually really young. I watched Jeepers Creepers, but
I had to have been in elementary school the first time I saw that
I
movie.
think I was probably in elementary school, either elementary school or just out of 6th grade. But I do love Jeepers Creepers. The design for the creeper is fucking incredible, and the entire plot is amazing. We don't talk about the second one.
Yeah, and obviously don't go too
But,
into detail with the plot because that ruins, like,
well, no,
pretty
yeah.
much all of it the second you talk about any of it.
Well, yeah, of course. Definitely was not expecting that one, but I can completely understand why it'd be on your list.
Yeah, I honestly figured you were going to be like, how the fuck did that make your
No.
top 10?
Oh, I know some of the like my top 10 are not going to be on your top 10. I just know that.
Well, some of
But
those, you know, like
we're
the one I
definitely-
haven't even seen, like Hereditary
Mhm.
and stuff like that, which, you know, is
definitely
always
is.
going to happen on people's top 10 lists.
Oh yeah, sure.
So, I guess hit us with your 5 now?
Number 5, yeah, because number 6 was Psycho. Okay,
Yeah.
number 5. Number 5, very popular horror movie. I don't remember if it's a low budget movie or not, but it might not have been a low budget movie. Some of the best makeup, some of the best effects in a horror movie, and it is still to this day the one horror movie your father will never watch, The Exorcist.
Yeah. My dad
Yeah.
is afraid to watch The Exorcist. True story.
I don't understand why, but I mean, this movie's everything's been said about this movie. This movie's fucking incredible. The actress playing Reagan fucking knocks it out of the park. I mean, I don't know of many child actors that are better than her in that movie.
Yeah. That's very true.
She's fucking awesome. And the effects, all of the entire plot of the movie is incredible. The ending scene is amazing. It's one of the best horror endings I've ever seen.
For sure.
Not technically the ending scene. I guess you could call it the climax of the movie. It's one of the best.
Yeah. This one, I don't know if this made your list. Probably not, since we're in the top 5 now.
Yeah.
But my number 5 is Alien.
That's yeah. Yeah.
Alien is, you know, I have always loved Alien, like every bit of Alien. All of the weird sci-fi shit, you know, everything about it is so good. And I just will never stop loving that movie.
That movie is fucking incredible.
Everything
I
from
love the
the
original.
costume design to Sigourney Weaver's performance, just everything, you know.
Ian Holm,
Yeah,
fucking great.
it's just everything about that movie is good. The writing is fantastic. The pacing like really makes the ending pay off. It's because it feels like a long watch the first time you see it.
Yeah, I get that.
But the build up makes the ending so much more worth it.
That is true. That is very true. I love the original Alien. Oh god, hold on. I'm gonna die. I don't know, maybe I watched it too late in life to really be scared of it. It was always more of a sci-fi movie to me than a horror movie, even though it is a horror movie. It's more classified as a horror sci-fi movie for sure. But
Yeah.
I fucking love both Alien and Aliens. And Prometheus, to me, I think, gets too much of a bad rap. I think people were expecting something out of that movie that they didn't get. But I think
Prometheus.
it's a
I don't care what
genius
anybody
movie.
says. Prometheus is so fucking good, and I like.
Yeah.
You know, of course, there's some very, very weird sci-fi moments you have to buy into.
Yeah.
But the horror of that movie is better than, I would say, 90% of the horror movies coming out lately.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, of course, you know, there's those big ones that come out and everybody is fucking obsessed with, you know?
Yeah,
But Prometheus, I think, deserved to be one of those and was completely overlooked.
I think so. Just because they were expecting an Aliens movie and that's not what they got. But
Well, the problem is, after the first Alien movie, it's not really, like, Alien anymore.
yeah,
It became an action franchise.
that
So
is
I
true.
think people were expecting action horror again, and it's much slower like the original. And I
Yeah.
think that threw a lot of people off.
Uh, okay, number 4 is another movie that I didn't get to see fully until way later in life, but I absolutely am obsessed with this movie and its backstory, and it's just, I don't know, something about this movie I fucking love. And even though I didn't get to see it till late in life, it really got to me. I fucking love it. Mainly because of the main actor in the movie, and that's Hannibal Lecter, Silence of the Lambs.
Yes.
Silence of the Lambs is on my list. I absolutely fucking love it, and I can't talk about the movie without talking about Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter. He does nothing but stand in a room the entire movie, and he's one of the most iconic fucking horror villains of all time.
That's all you had to do, man.
He's fucking genius.
The Just the fact that Anthony Hopkins managed to scare millions of people without doing any typical horror movie violence,
Yeah,
just that says
he
it all.
just. And of course, you might know his name. I can't remember his actual name. Buffalo Bill is also in Joyride.
Oh my god, I don't remember the actor's name right now.
I figured since you love Joyride too, I figured you
Yeah,
might know his name.
for people
But
who don't know, Buffalo Bill is the trucker voice that
Rusty
you
Nail.
hear in the movie Joyride, which is, in my opinion, a very underrated horror movie. It's so good. It's so
It's a good
enjoyable.
movie.
Um,
It's really fucking good. But
it's not as scary as some of the other ones on this list, but it's so much
yeah,
fun to watch. If you haven't seen
it
it, I
really
recommend
is.
watching it if you can find it. Do not watch the sequels; they have nothing to do with the first one.
Um. Anyways, back to Silence of the Lambs. Yeah, it's up in my top 5, and fucking, I just love the movie. Obviously, you can't say anything about the actual plot, but it's so fucking good.
All right, so my number
Okay.
4 is a movie that has already been mentioned.
Hmm.
It is Saw.
Of course.
Very close to being in my top 3.
Really, I was, as much as you love that and Jigsaw, I was really expecting it to be higher, but
Yeah,
I have a good feeling about what others are in your list.
I was very much fighting with myself whether this would be 4 or 3, but
Hmm.
3 has earned its place.
Yeah.
And I'll just leave it there. Um, but yeah, Saw is, I saw bits and pieces of it as a kid.
Mhm.
It was kind of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I didn't really pay attention
Yeah.
because I was a stupid kid. But once I
Right.
actually sat down and watched the entire movie, I just couldn't get over it. Just the way they use every single set piece. Like, everything in every scene matters. Like, you're
Yeah.
constantly watching the walls, the background, the people, their expressions, like everything they're holding or that's around them. You
Oh
like
yeah.
it makes you question every single thing happening in the movie all the time.
It really does. And, without spoiling anything, the twist is a twist that everyone knows now, it's nothing that you don't see coming
Yeah,
unless you are completely blind to the movie, which is rare, but it
if
happens.
you have managed to avoid spoilers for Saw and you have not seen it, get the fuck out of here
Fucking
and watch
watch
that
it.
right now
Well,
because
oh yeah.
it's like, honestly, it took everything in me, like, really thinking about all these movies to not just instantly throw that as my number 1.
Yeah.
Because I just love everything about that movie. I love the design, all of the, like, even the jump scare scenes are so, like, well done. They build tension very
Yeah.
well. They don't overdo it. It's not you know, it's not like the sequels. Obviously, a lot of people, you know, will know that the sequels are kind of just blood and guts flying everywhere and disgusting traps.
It's
It's
gore
nothing
porn.
like that at all. It
Yeah.
is very much a slow burner. It's just, you know, one of those good old fashioned detectives looking for a bad guy movie. But it
Yeah,
is so fucked up, dude.
it is. And very little actual gore in the movie,
Yeah, there's only
surprisingly.
one scene that's gory, and the
And you
payoff
really
for
don't
it
even
is
see
so
it.
good. It's so
Oh, yeah.
like emotionally stressful. Everything about that scene, as the viewer, like breaks you. Like you are
Yeah,
just
I
so thrown
I
all over the
still
place.
hate to watch that scene when I watch the movie. I'm just like, no, don't.
Yeah,
But
it's
it's great.
yeah, definitely everyone go watch that. If you have seen it, rewatch it because it's that good.
Rewatch
I
all
don't care if you
these. We
watched it
say
an hour
so.
before clicking on this video. Rewatch it. It's just so fucking good.
So number three is another movie by a director that is on my list, and one of the best horror directors of all time, and really well known, very well known for its amazing special effects and makeup and practical effects, everything, and it's just got something about it. It's The Thing. The Thing from 1982, John Carpenter's The Thing.
Ah,
Man, that movie is incredible. The fucking paranoia that they capture in that movie is it's ridiculous. It's I Another one of those movies that I knew most things about before I ever watched it because I was much older when I watched it, but damn, is it not effective? It's fucking incredibly effective. Uh, they really do capture a paranoid feeling with that movie where you're like, who is it? I want to know. I don't know who it is, and it's terrifying because it could eat you at any fucking moment. And if you don't know the basic premise of the thing, it's just that a shape-shifting monster breaks into this facility, and it's a mystery on who the thing is and who's a real person. And that's about all I'll say because that's the basic plot of the movie. So,
yeah.
man,
That one did not make my list, but I did heavily
I'm not
consider
shocked.
it.
I'm not shocked because it's
It
one
was
of those
it
that
was
you either
almost
love
my
it or
number
you're like,
10.
it's good. Oh, number 10? Okay.
I thought about it for a while. I just didn't love it as much as these other movies. I love John Carpenter.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, in fact, I actually at one point was considering putting vampires on here just because it's so fucking enjoyable.
I love
Um,
that movie, but
it's so
definitely not.
ridiculous. It's nowhere near as good as any of the other movies on this list,
Oh,
but
no.
it's just fun. It's so much fun.
Vampires is fucking amazing. I love that movie.
But the thing, it is one of those movies that it's like, holy fuck, it was so good. Like it's a very stressful
Yeah.
movie to watch if you've never seen it
It
before.
really is. If you don't know anything beyond that premise, it's crazy. The ending is crazy. It's such a what the fuck type of ending and a what the fuck type of movie. And I absolutely love it. Again, known for its amazing special effects, which still completely hold up today. They're incredible. But yeah, number 3, The Thing.
All
What
right,
is yours,
my number 3,
sir?
I fought with myself about a lot. Um,
Yeah.
I really did. I was very torn on where to put this movie on this list, because I love all of these movies, but
Well, of course.
specifically the top 3, I constantly, at least the first 2, I constantly rotate in between first place, which is why I didn't put this one in second.
Hmm.
And it's Halloween.
Okay. Yep.
Halloween, my top 3 horror movies of all time.
Oh yeah.
It's another one of those slow burner, tension building movies like Alien.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's just so good. All of it. There's the on-screen kills, the off-screen kills, the even just the stalking scenes, just anything about the movie is so like stressful.
Right. Oh yeah.
It's just so fucking fun to watch, and even if you've seen it a billion times and you just laugh at it now, like we do, um, it's still so much fun. You just never get tired of it. It's so
Yeah.
much fun to just watch that fucker stare at people through windows and next to bushes and shit, and it's so much fun.
Let me see. I'll get to it when uh, I get later on in my list. Yeah, it's number 3, Halloween. What else can you say?
Yeah, basically everybody knows what Halloween is. It's a guy in a mask who kills people
Yeah.
on Halloween. He breaks
Yep.
out of a facility and kills people on Halloween, and that's basically the plot for the movie. You don't really need to know anything else at all going into
Yeah.
it. Don't watch the fucking remakes. That's all I can say.
I would, yeah. The remakes, let's talk about the remakes for a second. The Halloween remakes, specifically the first one, is a movie that tears a lot of Halloween fans, basically. Some people fucking love it because it's grittier and gorier and it's a more brutal Michael Myers, which I can respect and I can understand. But some people, especially me, really do not like the remake of Halloween because, to me, like we said earlier, it just doesn't feel like Michael Myers. It's a completely different character. I'm all for changing things up and trying to do something new with the premise from the original. That's not my concern with the remake. My concern with the remake is that, for one, none of the characters are likable. I don't like a single character in the movie. I hate them all.
Yeah.
They are all dirtbags that I want to die, and that's not what you should be wanting from a horror movie. And secondly, it's just changing it up enough that it just completely disregards the original character.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything about that was true.
Yeah.
They basically just combined Halloween 1 and 2 from the original and
Yeah.
completely changed everything about Michael. So it just
Yeah.
was not. It just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
So what is your number 2?
Number 2 is I knew instantly my first 2 because number 2 used to be my favorite horror movie of all time when I was a kid. It is a movie that I saw when I was probably in elementary school, and it is a good one to start with, and it really stuck with me till this day, which is the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's much
Nightmare
higher
on Elm Street.
on your list than I thought it would be. Or lower,
Well,
I
I
guess.
mean,
I thought for a minute you weren't going to have this on your list after a while because you didn't say it. Now it's like, I was like, did you really not put Nightmare on Elm Street on your list?
oh,
Like, you better
no.
have some real
Nightmare
good
on
shit
Elm
on your
Street. Nightmare on Elm Street, dude, it was my favorite horror movie of all time for years because it's interesting story. I actually saw this movie because the remake was coming out. I remember seeing the trailer, had no idea what the movie was until my parents decided to let me watch Nightmare on Elm Street, the original, for the first time when I was a kid. That would have been, 2010, I think the remake was, so about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah. I guess it'd be a good time to talk about the remake now. Because I'm sure Nightmare on Elm Street's going to be on your list. And the remake is something I want to discuss just because we actually like the remake.
Okay, We're back, but I don't know for how long because my internet keeps shutting off. So, as we were saying, we like the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, not as much as the original, but we don't fucking hate it like most people do. Moving on.
Yeah. This is true.
What is your number 2?
No, mine was number 2, Nightmare on Elm Street number 2, so it's your number 2 next.
Okay, I'm all fucked up. Okay, my number 2 is Scream. Scream was almost my number 1.
That is exactly what I was gonna predict as your number 1.
Okay, so the reason I picked Scream as my number 2 is because everything about it is amazing. It's like the comedy in it is great. The actual horror stuff in it is done extremely well, even though the movie is making fun of itself while doing it.
Yeah.
Really, what shines the most about the movie is Wes Craven's writing. It's just everything about that movie is just so fucking, like, smart. And the dialogue is all, like, playfully teasing certain characters and stuff, you know, because they want you to be misdirected, you know?
Right.
Everything about the movie is a constant mystery, and I think it still has one of the best twists in horror movie history.
Does. I think it has an amazing twist. I mean, obviously, you've kind of figured out that Scream's not on my list. But,
yeah, I'm a little hurt.
It was really hard not to put it on there, but I don't know, I couldn't fit it in a place that I liked it more than any of the others.
Yeah, I get it.
But I love it.
Scream, it's one of those ones that I just will never allow to not be on my list. I just am permanently attached to that movie. It's fucking hilarious. It's scary. The gore is done sparingly and tastefully. Like, the suspense of it is good. The jokes that Ghostface makes are great. The fact that it makes fun of Wes Craven's own movies and John Carpenter's. They literally make a joke about somebody named Wes Carpenter. Basically, the entire movie is everything that Scary Movie wanted to be.
Well, I mean, it's parroting.
Yeah. It kind of was just intended to make fun of other scary movies while still being a good scary movie, and it nails all of that. Everything about the movie is, like, just very calculated. It plays out extremely well. You can't ever tell whether the next scene is going to be a horror movie scene or a comedy scene. You always think, like, oh, something bad's going to happen, and then it's a joke.
Fucking Matthew Lillard is incredible in the movie.
Everybody's incredible in that movie.
Everyone's incredible, but he's a standout for me.
Yeah, Matthew Lillard's performance. It's everything you would want from Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. That's all I'm saying, okay? It's just amazing.
I fucking love it. I still think he would be an incredible Carnage, but that's off topic.
You know, one of the most iconic horror movie villains, again, is Ghostface. The voice, the mask, the movements, the whole costume. It's just so good.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, the line, everyone on the planet knows what's your favorite scary movie. And it's almost that one. I'll tell you that much.
Almost.
It's almost that one.
Ironically.
There is one reason that the other one that I picked is my number 1, and I'll explain that when we get there. But now it's time for your number 1, which I totally know what it is, but I'm gonna pretend I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't think you're correct. My number 1 is Wrong Turn 6. That's my favorite scary movie.
You're just saying that to try to prove me wrong. I know. Unhook me, you bastard. Now tell me what your number 1 is.
Okay.
Or tell them what your number one is, because I already know.
Yeah, it's Halloween.
Of course.
Number one is Halloween 1978. The one of the only good ones
Yeah.
out of the rare like three.
Yeah, basically. It's just Halloween, Halloween 2, and Halloween 2018. That's it.
2018. To us, those are the only good Halloween movies. Yeah, I mean, I could talk about this fucking movie all day, how much I love it. But, it's one of those that I actually did end up seeing when I was much younger. Basically, I wanted to watch the movie for whatever reason. I don't remember why. I just was into horror movies at the time, so I was like, well, Halloween's a classic. And it's one that I actually avoided most spoilers for, save for a few. But it's one that I watched in middle school, and I remember I had a double feature disc with Halloween 1 and 2 on it. And it just, I don't know, it preys on one of my biggest paranoid feelings when I'm alone at home. I always am like, someone's gonna come in and kill me when I'm sleeping, or like when I'm not even paying attention. It's one of those things where I'm like, I've always had that fear.
Honestly, I when I'm home completely alone and I'm playing video games, I keep one headphone off on the headset,
Yeah.
so that I can still hear my surroundings.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I don't, every once in a while, one of my dogs will get up and start walking, and I'll hear it on the hardwood floor, and I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, exactly.
Why is there footsteps in my home?
And I mean, that was definitely an instigator for that feeling, but it was something that I already felt before watching the movie. It just propelled it far beyond what I already felt after watching that movie, and I loved it. I never loved it as much as Nightmare on Elm Street, but in recent years, the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, I've just been appreciating more and more what I love about that movie. The cinematography, the simplicity of how it was made, the shoestring budget. It's one of the best horror movies of all time, and the movie was made for like $16.
Yeah, basically,
not actually,
it was like enough money to buy the cameras, and that was it. Like,
yeah.
the mask is a Star Trek mask that they cut up and painted, and it's like
They spray painted
everything about it
white.
was extremely cheap.
And people brought their own costumes, like the side characters and whatnot, and the teenagers all brought their own wardrobes. None of it was made or bought for them. And something about it. And obviously, I've grown an appreciation for the Michael Myers character and specific things about the character that just can really make or break the character. You know, I guess since we're on Halloween, I think it'd be best to talk about the ones we do like. We already talked about how much we don't like the remakes, but like Halloween 2, there's a reason why I fucking love Halloween 2. It's one of those rare sequels that, even though John Carpenter didn't direct it, he still wrote it with Deborah Hill. Dean Cundey, who was the cinematographer on the original, came back for it. And so you had this really unique situation where it just flows right into the second movie flawlessly. It's really seamless. It feels like you're watching the same movie, like a part 2. It's one of the only movies that really does it successfully, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I really love it, but there's a few things that, to me, make the original better. I mean, for one, as much as I love Dick Warlock as Michael Myers, I just rewatched the movie, so it's fresh in my mind. As much as I do love Dick Warlock as Michael Myers, he's one of the best. He just has a slight robotic feeling to me when he walks, and when he does all the classic Michael Myers tropes that, I don't know, is a bit
He's got a
off-putting.
great name, though, you know?
Dick Warlock? I know. Fucking incredible name. I love it. Then I want to talk about a little bit about the 2018 movie, one that got mostly positive, but a lot of mixed reviews. I love it. I really do.
Yeah, I don't
really
want
enjoy
to talk about this one
2018.
too much, because we talked about it a lot in our last episode. So
Oh, of
if people
course.
are interested in that, go watch the last episode of Off the Docks. We talked all about the new Halloween movie and
The teaser
what we
for
think will
Halloween
happen
Kills.
in the movie after. So
Yep.
go check that out if you're interested in hearing us rant about Halloween for an entire hour. But yeah, we very much enjoyed Halloween 2018. So
Right. I watched both of them pretty close. I watched 2018, and then a couple days later, got the DVD for Halloween 2. And honestly, it actually cemented to me that I like 2018 just a bit more, but for plot reasons that we can't really go into.
Sean is gonna leave an angry comment on this video. He's gonna
Hey,
be like,
you know
how
what?
dare you disrespect Halloween 2?
I love Halloween 2. That's get me mixed up. I fucking love Halloween 2. It's an incredible movie, but it's just not one that it's probably my third favorite, honestly. Now, before you say what your number one is, I want to guess, because I'm pretty sure I know what it is.
I'm 99% sure that you know what it is as well, because I am obsessed with this movie, and I know you know that I'm obsessed with this movie.
Yeah. My guess
It's obviously
is...
My Little Pony. No, I'm just kidding.
That is a horror movie. It's Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
Yeah, no.
You go ahead, take some hand sanitizer, couple little squirts in the old hand, go ahead and lean it over your eye.
It's like, is it Senor Crispy Face? I think
What
it's
in the
Senor
fuck?
Crispy Face.
Oh my god.
I think it's Senor Crispy Crispy
yes,
Face.
it is. It's
Nightmare on
it
Elm
is
Street.
A Nightmare on Elm Street, the original.
Of course.
The reason that this one has remained as my number one for so long is because it was, as far as I can remember, the first horror movie scene I have ever seen. Really, it's just any scene from a horror movie. That was the first one.
Really?
That I saw. I remember I was maybe 4 years old, and my brother was talking shit with his friend, telling my mom that they weren't afraid of anything, and she turned that movie on for them on a VHS player on a fucking, fat ass TV that kids these days will not understand. And it scared the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
I was so afraid. I was like 4 years old, and I had never seen anything scary before, really, in my life, other than, like 7-Eleven tweakers, but...
Do you happen to know which
I
scene?
believe it's the first, boiler room scene.
So, like, the intro of the movie?
Yeah, it was literally, like, the first scene that I saw. I was like, yo, I'm fucking out of here.
Yeah.
I started the movie, my mom was all excited to show it to us. My oldest brother was the one that was talking shit. And my other brother decided, that he was definitely not watching that movie. So he left before it even started. And my oldest
Smart.
brother, once I saw my oldest brother freak out for the first time in my life, I was like, yo, I gotta fucking get out of here. So I went down the hall and watched The Matrix with my dad for the first time.
Yeah.
So
I remember hearing this story. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's the reason I watched The Matrix, which is a pretty good movie.
Oh, yeah.
But that's not the reason it's my favorite. It's just because it was the first horror movie that really scared me. And it that obviously didn't stick with me. I love the movie now. I'm not afraid of it anymore.
Yeah.
But I just loved that movie. Everything about it. The makeup, the special effects, the jokes, just everything about it. And
Yeah.
Also it's Johnny Depp's first movie, so that's, a huge
That
plus.
is true.
We got Johnny Depp, who is a gift.
Bonus thing you didn't know. What?
Yeah, no, it just fucked me up as a little kid, man. I was like, yo, fuck this, man. I remember I had nightmares of Freddy Krueger, and I only saw one
Oh
scene.
yeah.
And again, I could not stress this enough. I was like 4 years old, so don't
Yeah.
hold this against me. Um, but yeah, dude, I legit like fucking freaked the fuck out, man. I ran all the way down the hall, and my dad had just started The Matrix, and I was like, this looks way less scary. I'm gonna watch this.
Exactly. I
But
fucking
yeah,
love
my
it.
my favorite horror movie of all time has remained since I was 4 years old, which is pretty amazing.
Unless we're counting a honorable
Yeah,
mention,
okay,
which would
so
be
yeah, my
Jaws.
number one favorite movie of all fucking time is Jaws. So I excluded it from our lists because I figured that would be kind of unfair to the other movies. I would have to eliminate something that was on this list in order to
Yeah.
make Jaws fit, because there was no way I'd leave Jaws out if it was allowed. Alright, well, I think that'll do it. If anybody sees this and would like to leave their top 10 in the comments below, we will respond to it.
Hell yeah.
So let us know what you think of our lists, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.